to Glenlathen, and it's December 1st. So a few things. We've had a £15,000 payment from the dairy over at Maypole still, and DS Agri did a couple of soybean harvesting contracts, in particular. Mark got those done for me. He's also done a bunch of stuff on the auto drive network, so that's really cool. Skipped into December 1st, there was a potato harvesting contract floating about still, so I've picked that up. Pretty big contract. Going to take a while. There is snow on the way as well, which could be interesting, but going to see what we can get done. We have all of December to do this anyway. It's I'm not going to tackle any of the jobs on our fields now until February probably, when we can be thinking about getting into planting. The only job we really have to do is to get those silage bales stacked that are still out in the field. So yeah, we'll get this job done and make a bit of cash. And really, with the big loan that we've gotten in the next video, I'm transferring the loan across from Maypole, because the reason I didn't do it before is because I'd said it was still on Maypole and had made the loan payment in November on Maypole already. So now we're in December. I have in fact moved it across already after recording this. So the money that's coming from the dairy will be going towards the loan payment, and I'm kind of hoping that I can make some extra payments on that to speed up paying it back, because it's quite a few years that we took that out over. So yeah, there are other things that I want to get as well on here. So I would really like to get either the Fiat or Iveco, how do you describe it? It's the truck with the body on the back, so you can run it as either a bale trailer or like a grain trailer or whatever, because I think that would be really useful for, particularly with the contracting business, getting stuff around the map, you know, like moving the bales around when we're doing baling contracts, or like this, having to run the entire width of the map to get to the sell point. The other option is getting a lorry and trailers. Again, there's some nice older Iveco or Fiat lorries. I think they're all by Pepe from 78. I'm not sure. Is it Pepe 78? Pepe something. Some of them aren't. Some of them are by someone else. But there's all of those. They're all quite reasonably priced. So I would like to get that at some point. More for the contracting side of things, because generally I tend to stay quite isolated around the farm. It'll also be useful when the cows come for the milk. We get a tanker for it. So again, quicker for running to sell points to deliver products, so more efficient. And actually, I was so tempted during this contract to buy something. I did go and browse on ModHub to see what I could find. Not going to finish this job today. It's quite a big field, so it will be coming back. Actually planning probably later today, if you're watching this on release day, or tomorrow, to stream the rest of this harvest. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I'll say thank you to the patrons and YouTube channel members at this point. Didn't get in early today. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. It's yeah, makes a big difference. Bit disorganized today, clearly. So I spoke about it in yesterday's video. I had the weekend of not releasing anything, and about to go into a bit of another break, but not from doing this, but from actual work. So it's going to be cool. Yeah. So this map is currently not on ModHub. Not spoken to Cavalier to find out why. Probably should have messaged him, or if you're watching, I probably should have messaged you before I recorded this to see what's going on there. Hoping it's nothing major, and I assume it will be back. So yeah, just be patient if you wanted to play on it and you haven't downloaded it yet. Not seen any complaints about it, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure I'll find out at some point. So I had said that, I think, I might not have said it in yesterday's video, I'm not sure. Originally the plan was to do a tutorial on guidance steering tomorrow, which came out of the which GPS mod. So folks asked for tutorials on each of them. I've done VCA GPS, and that's most of what I used VCA for. I haven't done enhanced vehicle, I don't think, although I may have. I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. I might have done a very early version when they first added in at least holding a course, but obviously it's a lot better now. But again, I only use a tiny fraction of it. So, and then guidance steering, I haven't used regularly since FS19. It used to be my go-to GPS mod when I first started. I think for most people it probably is, because, you know, when you search bombing simulator and GPS, you get guidance steering. And it's only maybe later on where you find there are other options. So I was going to do a tutorial on guidance steering first, because it's the one with the least features. And I was going to say the simplest, but it's not, and simple's not the right word. None of them are simple mods. They're very complex. The guys that create them are very clever. So I didn't want to say simplest, because it's not simple. It's the one that has the least other effects on how the vehicles behave. It's going to sound wrong again. It's just guidance. It's just GPS, so it doesn't do differentials and all the other stuff. So I was going to do that first. Problem is that I haven't used it in so long that I need to remind myself how it all works. And so the way that I tend to do tutorials, so if it's a mod that I use regularly, I can just do it, you know. If it's something like auto drive or course play, I will probably do a bit of work in advance to make sure that I understand how the mode I'm trying to demonstrate works, so that I can talk to you about it properly. Even if it's something that I use regularly, I do a bit of prep work. If it's something like this, where it's a mod I've not used in a very long time, I need to spend some time playing with it and remembering how it works, making sure that when I talk about something, I do it in a way that works. Don't necessarily, you know, the right way is not what I'm going for. It's a way that I find works and is easy to use. Sometimes there are many ways to do something, and what someone deems the right way may not be the way that I do it. So, and I'm not sure, basically what I'm trying to get is, I'm not sure I'm going to get the time before Thursday to do that. So it might come later in the week. I might juggle things around, but I'm not sure. But then there's VCA and enhanced vehicle, and the dilemma I have with those is, so with both of those, I only really use the GPS function. Let's go back to the game for a second. I'm really bad for that. So first trailer full. Over at the moment, this bit of the GPS route is not linked, or the auto drive route is not linked up, and the waypoints aren't set. So we're just linking up the main roads to the spur that's been created for the store. So I think some of this is created off of the helper network. Cavalier Roy put in a really good helper network on here, so that's cool. And I need to create a waypoint, and what I want to do, so that the waypoint is always approached from the same direction, I'm going to change some of this from two-way to one-way. And the way that I'm doing that is you click on the waypoints. You can see I'm doing it. So you go the furthest one and then the nearest one, and that removes the direction from, in this case, from right to left. So by doing that, it means the tractor will always come at it the direction we're coming, and then I can put the waypoint in and it should work. So we need to hook up the out, which I forget to do, but yeah. So what I was with enhanced vehicle and VCA, I use a tiny portion of the features, and but I have two thoughts in my head with that. I can either spend a bunch of time learning how the rest of it works, but it's not something that I actually regularly use. Or I can just show off the bits that I use. I'm leaning more towards the second one, that I'll just show the features that I use and I'm comfortable talking about. But that means that it's not a complete tutorial. So kind of curious as to what folks think about that. Is that a good thing? Is that enough? Yeah, so that's kind of what what I've been musing about on those in terms of how to produce them so that they're useful but also kind of genuine almost. I've done a few tutorials mainly where people have asked for them, where I've just worked out how something works and made a video and never used it again. Real Dashboard. Is it Real Dashboard? The one where you have to edit the vehicle XML is one of those. Folks asked for a video on how to do it. I did it. Have not used it since. Wardrobe Plus is similar, apart from the fact that that's just because I haven't got around to doing it. So Wardrobe Plus, I do want to do a pack of. Ignore me driving across the field. Or is that me or is that auto drive? Let's have a look. It might be me. Ignore that. Realism is indeed key. Yeah, the Wardrobe Plus, I really do want to do a more in-depth video on that and actually make a pack of kind of fake merch, virtual merch, so that folks have that. If they want to use it in their games, they can. I just haven't got around to it yet. I need to put some work in on that to work out where you place everything and do the graphics stuff, and I'm not very good at the graphic stuff, as you can probably tell. So yeah. So that's kind of where my head is on some of those things that have been floating about. There are a few others that I've spoken about. So the other one that I'd said I was going to do that I haven't yet is the auto drive. Why auto drive did you have to do that? So yeah, I am going to cheat that off of the fence, off of the hedge, because that's auto drive being stupid. Yeah, the other one that I'd said I was going to do and haven't yet is the kind of 5 ways to start playing FS, or 5 different ways to play FS. I started planning that video, but then again didn't get around to making it. So probably will do that one soon, I think. There are a couple of others that I've got that are a bit like that, but yeah, they feel they're really good for views, but they're not what I naturally do. So they are quite not fake, but kind of artificial. They're not what I'm interested in doing as much, which is probably why they haven't happened. You know, I like playing FS, ta-da, and I like doing kind of how-tos and tutorials and stuff. And I've spoken about it before. Those all started because there were things that I wanted to know how to do, and there weren't any tutorials. So, you know, I like most people, when I want to work out how to do something, I will go Google it or YouTube it. And when I was starting to play FS, you know, if it was course play or auto drive or guidance steering, I would go watch tutorials. And some that stuck out in my mind for things like auto drive and course play would have been Kederick, I'm never sure. FSG is polluted how I say that, I think. Remember watching him on doing auto drive. FSG for course play and later auto drive as well. You know, some of his videos were pretty key in me learning how to use course play. It's what I don't think I really did any course play tutorials in FS19 because I was the learner, not the teacher. I was going to say learner. The words. I'm good with the words. Anyway, yeah. So when I found there weren't videos for, that's when I started. So I think that's why I started doing the Maze Plus ones, because there weren't many Maze Plus tutorials. Scroft was doing some, and I was trying to do ones that he wasn't doing, and so yeah. I think that there's benefit in many people doing tutorials on the same thing, as long as they are all factually correct. Different people learn in different ways, and so a different person making a tutorial will present it in a different way, and that might help you understand that, you know, either, you know, you watched someone else's, you didn't understand, you watched mine, you didn't understand. Yes. So I never get too precious when people make tutorials of stuff that I've done. Now, I know early on, and it really was appreciated because it made quite a big difference to how things grew. It felt like people weren't rushing into course play tutorials when I was doing them, and I know quite a few people didn't dive into Maze Plus tutorials because I was doing them, and that I really do appreciate. I think Scroft and I swapped a couple of messages, and he kind of said he was just going to do a couple of videos and leave all the the more in-depth stuff to me. And I think FSG was similar. FSG is not really a big Maze Plus guy, but yeah, so I do appreciate that kind of stuff. It really helps. Yeah, you can see auto drive is kind of struggling with. So at the moment, I've got auto drive in combine unload mode, and it's kind of struggling. I think it's this harvester. So this harvester and trying to drive over the hedge doesn't help. Oh, auto drive. Anyway, I think that this harvester has issues with how the AI worker functions are set up. You'll see as I'm using GPS that the work width that it's using is different to the visual work width. So what I end up doing is the same as I did on Maypole, and I'm going to park the tractor on the headland in front of us, and every time I come up, we'll empty. And I found that that works really well. So because the 7810 is not on auto drive, the 8410 has kicked in. But yeah, I find that works really well when you're doing these jobs in single player, and if auto drive isn't behaving, or you can't be bothered to set it up or anything like that, then I definitely think that doing it this way makes life a lot easier. Makes it quite a quick process, particularly with this small harvester. You need to be a bit careful that the runs aren't too long, that you get full. But on it with a combine and a normal crop, this works so well. But it does work with this. You just need to make sure that your long runs are not too long. I do really like this root crop harvester. I think actually in the real world it's a sugar beet harvester. I think it is a real world vehicle. I was trying to find some pictures of it the other day, but I couldn't. But it is a real world vehicle, but I think it's a beet harvester. And obviously in game it's been made so that it can do potatoes. I think it comes with headers for a whole bunch of other crops as well. I know in FS19 I used to use it with all of the Maze Plus crops, so it was really good for that, and it's just so much easier than a pull behind. I should probably at some point not use this as my always root crop harvester. I think on Saxthorpe eventually we'll get into root crops, and I was going to say I might use the pull behind, but the fields are quite big, so maybe not. On Greenlands I used the bigger base game ones. So yes, I know I parked one of them in a river. I remember. I know you guys do too. Yeah, and maybe as we get further through on here, we'll pick one up. I think the last time I used one was, I was going to say Sandy Bay, but it wasn't. It was Bug Iceland. On there, I had carrots that I was trying to harvest, and I remember having a nightmare finding a pull behind harvester that would harvest carrots. I did find one, but it took a while. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, and I don't remember the other crops. So we've got, I'm just going to try and find it while I'm talking. The Giants announced the Platinum expansion for Season 2. We can talk about that first. I think it's really bad that it's named the... I know it's Premium. Okay, I've got that wrong. Ignore me. I thought they called it Platinum. They call it the Premium expansion, so that's better. I thought they'd called it Platinum, which was, I had said was really confusing, but it's not. It's Premium. So they announced that last week, or no, the week before FarmCon maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, it's coming in November, coming the 14th of November. If the auto drive is doing weird things with the lights. If you want to pick it up, use code DISTURBED. You don't pay any more. I get a little bit of commission. So at the moment is this one on sale? I guess it's the season pass. No, it's the horse one is on sale. If you want to get that, use code DISTURBED as well. So I'm excited about both. I'm excited about the horseback and the premium edition. So with the premium edition, we get carrots, parsnips, and red beet. And it's snowing. The cool thing is that this harvester doesn't seem to be affected by the snow. So we're not getting the warning that the yield is going to be reduced. I was expecting to have to stop when it started snowing, and there is a gap in the snow later on, so I was going to carry on then, but we can just keep going. So I hadn't mentioned the plan that I've got for this field is we're doing this direction, and then I think I might have done one more little bit, and then I'm going to go 90 degrees the other way, and we're going to go that way across the field and get the last bit. So yeah, so we've got carrots, parsnips, and red beet, which is going to be really cool. Should hopefully really expand options for feeding in Maize Plus with the root crop side of things. Obviously there's buyable carrots at the moment, but it probably means we can be using parsnips and the red beets in the feeding as well. I'm really hoping that's going to be the case anyway. And we've got the new map, Zalonka, which I think looks really good for a Giants map. So yeah, excited for that, and then all of the machinery that goes with it. There was a bunch of stuff that they shoot at FarmCon, I believe, that I've not really delved into people's videos on FarmCon yet, but there is some stuff to do with that in some of the FarmCon stuff, I think. So we'll see. I have to be careful what I say, because I've spoken to Paul since FarmCon, and he spoke a lot to Giants about stuff, and some stuff he told me was stuff he spoke to Giants about. Some stuff he told me was stuff that was in the presentations that everyone knows, and so I'm just not saying it because I don't want to be the spoiler guy. So there'll be some stuff that we talk. What day is this video going to come out? Tomorrow we should be doing a Terra live stream, and we'll talk about what we can from FarmCon and the stuff that Paul spoke to Giants about. So I was just looking at the premium edition blog page, and there is one more unannounced pack. So we've got the go through. So in year one, we had the Antonio Carrera pack. Meh. Kubota pack. Good. Vermeer pack. Pretty good. Not used much of it, but, you know, didn't dislike it. And then we had the Platinum expansion, which was meh. You know, forestry. And really, the really bad bit about the Platinum expansion was the fact that everything's locked in that DLC. So all of the really nice stuff that Giants did is only on Silver Run. That how many people have actually really played properly? Yeah, I thought so. So now done. We're going north to south. We're now doing west, east to west. So, and we have delivered nearly 300,000 litres and we've got about 90,000 to go. So the price is pretty good for potatoes. So I'm torn on selling versus keeping when we get to the point where we've delivered everything. Yeah, so that's where we had those. Then we had the Goville pack. It's the first part of season 2. Hay and forage. Goville pack's really good. Hay and forage I've not really used any of. There are some interesting bits of kit in there. We've then got the horse pack, and we've got one left, which seems like one too many, but I'm not sure. I thought it was 3 plus premium, so maybe there's another thing coming. So Creative Mesh spoiled last week. Straw Harvest as well, I think. I know there were a bunch of people that are super excited about that. I didn't use it that much in 19. I used it on Chellington. And Chellington was a map that I was super excited about. And I only played a year, I think. It's one of the maps I played on the least. And I just kind of got bored of it. I just kind of stopped. Yeah, and that's the one map that I had Straw Harvest on. And the pull behind hay pellet press was really good. I liked that. Everything else didn't really excite me. I had the building, and I think I used the palletizing machine, and I sold pallets of pellets, and yeah, it didn't excite me. It's kind of like Productions doesn't excite me in 22. So I'm looking forward to it, mainly to be able to make hay and straw pellets. I think that'll be cool, because they'll work well in Maize Plus again with the feeding and stuff. So that's why I'm excited about those. Some people really like the baler and the bale accumulator. I don't think I ever used the bale accumulator. I think I used the bale grab for the wheel loader. I think, or a version of it anyway. Maybe it was off of Mod Hub, but it may not been. It was like the one that was in Straw Harvest. It may not have been the Straw Harvest one. It was off of Mod Hub though. So we are making good progress. So 77% delivered. This would have been much quicker with 3 carting tractors. Problem is that our 3rd trailer is still at Maypole, because in January on Maypole there's grain to be sold. So there was corn and wheat in the silo there, which I left behind to be sold there with the dairy. So the other red, can't remember the brand, the other trailer is still at Maypole. So again, I was really tempted to pick up an extra trailer to speed this process up, but I did not. So saving the cash. I think if there'd been one in the sales, I probably would have, but because there wasn't, I did not. I still am holding out for the truck appearing in the sales. I got lucky on Saxthorpe with the Volvo appearing. So if I can hit the lottery again and have that Fiat appear, that would be really nice. Or Iveco. I think I want it in Iveco because Iveco is a brand that you see in the UK a lot. And what I like about that particular truck is it can be a bale trailer or a grain trailer or, you know, everything. And because it's a rigid body, I think auto drive will probably cope better with it. I guess we'll see. So I'm not going to finish this contract. It's quite a big job. I've got more done than I expected in a day. I have been playing on ×1, mainly so that once the light came, we kept the light. We might finish it on day 2 of December. I might skip ahead to day 2. I'm not sure, but this will probably be the only job we do in December anyway. So I'll probably skip through to January once we've done this job anyway. So trying to play within the weather and not get silly with, you know, exploiting time and stuff, but also wanting to have a video you guys can see. I have installed the I downloaded, in fact I downloaded but did not activate the better lighting mod that you recommended, Pete, and that would have made the start of the video brighter probably, but you know, I forgot. But we are going to do this run, and we're going to call it a day for now. I probably need to take the 8410 back to the farm and give it a service and some fuel before we carry on. It is very low on fuel. It is very, very in need of a service. So I got really bad in terms of doing that in the last little bit, partly because the cash flow wasn't great. It's improving, so I might have to wait until we've finished the harvest because it might be an expensive service. I'm not sure, but it's obviously better to keep on top of it than to let it get really wrecked. It's cheaper per percent to do it when the number of percent is less. So I know I am costing myself more money, but you know, when you've not got the cash in the bank to pay for it, you've not got the cash in the bank to pay for it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I'm not sure if a 30-minute potato harvest really excites folks, but is where we were. If you did enjoy it, click the like button. Any comments, questions, suggestions, recommendations for cheap trucks and trailers, stick them below. YouTube won't let you post the links, so names or links on Discord. And I will see you next time on Glenlarden. Once this is empty. I think I stopped then. Yeah, I do. See ya.